I'm going to start off having you think a little bit. Think of your favorite celebrity. Got it? Okay, here are a couple of mine. Zendaya, Billie Eilish, and Selena Gomez. It was probably pretty easy for you to think of a couple, right? I mean, these are the people we look up to, the people we idolize, the people we see as perfect, right? Well, for me there was a shift when I hit around 8th grade. Instead of looking at these people and seeing how funny they were or how successful they were and wanting to be more like them, I was only looking at their bodies, wanting to look more like them, to have that snatched waist or those flat abs. I operated this way for years, wanting to change because the only people I saw on TV or movies were girls with perfect bodies. And that only got worse when TikTok and Instagram came around. Looking at girls on my Instagram feed and then looking at myself in the mirror became like looking in a funhouse mirror, where my body image became more and more distorted the more I saw girls praised only for perfect bodies, and others shamed for thick thighs or a wide waist. Experiences like mine are what lead girls to develop disordered, healthy habits. And social media platforms aren't just a cause of these behaviors, they encourage them. Now, some videos are a little more unsettling than others, but let's take a look at this one. Alright, you've probably seen this video or one like it on your For You page recently, maybe a couple weeks ago, and you may think, this is just a funny twist on a trending sound from that week. But in reality, what this video is doing, just like dozens like it circulating the internet right now, is romanticizing eating disorders. You would think the comments on this video would be discouraging this type of content. That would be my first reaction. But in reality, most of the comments are things like, and that's on eating disorder, or me every single day. Now, these comments vary, but what they're all basically stating is that this content is relatable and funny to the viewer commenting. Videos like this one paint eating disorders as a joke for people to use freely, when in reality, they're affecting 28.8 million real Americans as we speak. So, why is just one or two videos like this harmful? Well, the short answer is, it's not just one or two videos in the long run. Let's take a look at the TikTok algorithm. A video is posted, pushed out to viewers, its performance is evaluated as good or bad based on a number of factors, and the rating ratio determines if it will be successful or not. This is why it works scarily well to show you exactly what you want to see or what you've been thinking about. And according to Isabel Guerrera, a professor in digital media at the University of Sheffield, it takes little more than 30 seconds to find a pro-eating disorder account on TikTok. And once a user is following the right people, their For You page will quickly be flooded with content from similar users. This is because TikTok is essentially designed to show you what it thinks you want to see. What you like, who you follow, even how long you spend looking at a video, determine what will show up on your For You page next. Now back to this unhealthy content. Users in viral videos promoting unhealthy behaviors are creating what people are calling the return of 2014 pro-Anna Tumblr. And TikTok is only making it worse. This phenomenon on Tumblr was where girls and boys would post about their triggering eating disorder experiences so much that Tumblr had to recognize and crack down on this content, instituting limitations and regulations on posts with even mentions of eating disorders through these hashtags. And now TikTok is having to do the same. Looking up most of these hashtags will turn up no search results anymore. Yet somehow, the content still slips through. And this era is returning. In December of 2020, according to Insider.com, TikTok banned these two hashtags, which had 2.1 million and 446,000 views respectively just in the summer of 2020. Now, these hashtags were banned, but users who used different characters or misspellings of words were still able to post pro-eating disorder content without TikTok or the algorithm realizing it at all, leaving millions vulnerable to this content showing up on their For You pages. And that's extremely dangerous. But even posts not meant to be triggering, posts of just thin girls being thin, they don't mean to romanticize eating disorders, but they can still create a surge of self-doubt and self-hatred in their viewers, especially young girls. And that goes far beyond what the algorithm or TikTok can control. Now, this video I showed you, you may think it's just dark humor, someone trying to make light of a bad situation. But there's a big difference between pro-eating disorder and pro-recovery content. But what's pro-recovery content? Well, I didn't know until a new type of video started showing up on my For You page, and new posts flooded my Explore page. Videos of dietitians, influencers, and people in recovery showing me that I didn't need to look like anyone else because most of the people we idolize have flaws too. No one is perfect, and you won't ever feel that way without learning to love who you are in the first place. Let's take a look at some of the body-positive influencers circulating the internet right now. Brittany Lancaster, a woman who has fought through 2 eating disorders and come out the other side ready to fight against diet culture. Sienna Mae Gomez, a 16-year-old just looking to show that regular bodies aren't always stick thin. And Danae Mercer, an Instagram influencer who primarily highlights how posing, lighting, and filters create those perfect Instagram photos we all praise, and why they're all fake. These faces may be a little less familiar to you, but if you have TikTok, I'm sure you know the type of video I'm talking about. These people have made it their mission to show little boys and little girls that real bodies exist. The comments on these videos highlight just how much of a true positive impact these people are making. Let's take a look at a Brittany Lancaster video from a couple weeks ago. Alright, the comments on this video are primarily from young and teenage girls, commenting things like, "I've never felt more comfortable," or "finally someone who looks like me." And just these couple of comments show how important people like Brittany are in today's social media climate. This is the #NormalizeNormal Bodies trend. It makes people with bodies that aren't typically on an Instagram feed feel more comfortable in their skin and highlights that there isn't just one perfect body anymore. These individuals, but what's ironic is that as we've seen, in the beginning, social media is what tears a lot of people down. These two sides of just one social media app that we've looked at today highlight just how important influencers and regular people's voices can be. According to the Center for Change, 94% of teens utilize at least one social media app, and what they're taking in matters. And that's not just my opinion. A study done by the National Eating Disorder Association showed that higher Instagram usage was associated with more prevalence of orthorexia nervosa symptoms, and that women ages 18 to 25 who follow fitspiration pages, like these ones, have an extreme increase in low self-esteem and self-objectification. Body-positive influencers are determined to make sure the voice of social media is lifting people up, not tearing them down anymore. By filling your feed with real bodies, no Photoshop. These people are breaking the barriers surrounding the perpetuated eating disorder culture in America. And in a world where 1 out of 10 Americans will experience an eating disorder in their lifetime, that's 30 million people. And 79% have at least one social media app downloaded. These influencers have the ability to make real change. And so do you. Let's take a look at some of the most popular social media apps today. Count how many you use. Personally, I use 7 out of 8 of these platforms, and that's a pretty big margin. Since learning about recovery and the harsh reality of eating disorders, I've tried to make my voice a little more positive and watch my impact. Because though these influencers do have a huge, influence on us regular people can make just as much of an impact in our immediate communities. Sharing an infographic about eating disorders, researching more yourself, or just remaining open to help people who are struggling, these things can make a bigger impact than you'll ever know. And that's why I implore you to take a look at what you're taking in and what you're putting out, because you could be affecting real change, positive or negative, in someone else's life. Take a look at your social medias and use those platforms for good. Thank you.